These are the world's deadliest foods, ranked from dangerous to downright lethal. Let's go! Number 10. Ackee fruit. At first glance, the ackee fruit is a tropical delight. Bright red, butter yellow inside, and the crown jewel of Jamaica's national dish, ackee and saltfish. But this beauty comes with a deadly warning. When consumed before it's fully ripe, the ackee transforms from a culinary staple into a toxic threat. The danger lies in a natural toxin called hypoglycin A, found in the unripe fruit. Ingesting it can trigger Jamaican vomiting sickness, a terrifying condition marked by uncontrollable vomiting, convulsions, coma, and in severe cases, death. Even when ripe, the preparation must be meticulous. Only the fleshy yellow arils are edible, and they must be properly cleaned and boiled. The shiny black seeds, incredibly toxic and never to be eaten. So lethal is the fruit that for years it was banned in the United States, and even today, strict import regulations remain in place. In Jamaica, proper preparation is second nature. Locals learn from childhood how to handle it safely. But for outsiders, one careless bite could turn a cultural delicacy into a deadly mistake. Number 9. Green potatoes. They look like ordinary potatoes, but just a little greener. Harmless, right? In reality, that green tint is a biological alarm bell. It signals the presence of solanine, a natural toxin so potent it was once used as a pesticide. When potatoes are exposed to too much light, they begin to produce chlorophyll, and along with it, solanine, a chemical defense that can be lethal in high doses. Solanine poisoning isn't some obscure trivia. It's very real and extremely dangerous. Symptoms start with nausea, diarrhea, dizziness, headaches, and in severe cases, escalate to hallucinations, paralysis, hypothermia, and death. And the worst part? Cooking doesn't remove it. You can boil it, bake it, fry it. Solanine stays stubbornly intact. Historically, the danger has been known for centuries. Ancient Greek and Roman scholars documented the poisonous effects of bitter tubers. During a severe food shortage in 1845 Prussia, desperate families turned to green potatoes, and hundreds fell ill. In 1918, American soldiers were warned not to eat sprouted potatoes in field rations, and in 1979, a mass poisoning in a London school hospitalized dozens of children after a meal made with improperly stored potatoes. Even today, solanine poisoning occurs worldwide. A mere 3 to 6 milligrams per kilogram of body weight can be fatal. Just 2 medium green potatoes could, in theory, kill a small child. Yet most people don't even know it's a risk. They spot the green, maybe peel it off, maybe don't, and eat on. So next time you reach into the pantry and see a potato with that slight, sickly green hue, throw it away. Because sometimes the most ordinary things on your plate hide the deadliest secrets beneath the skin. Number 8. Hot dogs. Beloved at barbecues and baseball games, hot dogs seem harmless until they turn deadly. Their smooth, tube-like shape makes them the perfect size to block a child's windpipe. Every year, thousands of kids end up in ERs from hot dog choking incidents. In the US alone, hot dogs are the #1 cause of food-related choking deaths in children under 3. It's not just kids. Elderly adults are also at risk. One distracted bite, no chewing, and a hot dog becomes a lethal plug. And the danger doesn't stop at choking. Hot dogs are ultra-processed, packed with nitrates and preservatives linked to cancer and heart disease. The World Health Organization classifies them as Group 1 carcinogens, alongside asbestos and cigarettes. What looks like comfort food can, in an instant, become a silent killer. Not because of poison, but because of how easily it steals your breath. Number 7. Blood clams. At first glance, blood clams seem like any other shellfish, until you crack them open and see what looks like blood oozing out. These deep red clams aren't a horror show, they're a real delicacy in parts of China, Vietnam, and Southeast Asia. What gives them their name is a high concentration of hemoglobin, the same oxygen-carrying protein found in human blood. But that's not what makes them deadly. Blood clams thrive in low-oxygen mudflats, the perfect environment for hosting deadly viruses and bacteria. Because they're often eaten raw or only lightly boiled to preserve their unique taste, this turns them into tiny biological grenades. In 1988, a massive hepatitis A outbreak in Shanghai sickened over 300,000 people, a disaster so severe it led to a national crackdown, and the clam's outright ban in many regions. Even today, blood clams are considered an underground thrill, illegal in some countries, yet still hunted by food daredevils. Like fugu, they sit at the razor's edge between elite delicacy and toxic gamble. A single contaminated bite could deliver hepatitis, typhoid, or even death. Yet for many, the danger is part of the flavor. Number 6. Cassava. Cassava feeds over 500 million people every day. It's cheap, hardy, and thrives in poor soils where few crops survive. In regions across Africa, South America, and Southeast Asia, it's more than a staple. It's survival. But hidden beneath its starchy flesh is a secret. Cassava can kill. The danger lies in its natural defense mechanism, cyanogenic glycosides. When the root is improperly processed, these compounds convert into cyanide inside the human body. The symptoms come fast: nausea, dizziness, and in extreme cases, paralysis and death. Entire villages have been poisoned by improperly prepared cassava, especially during famines when desperation overrides caution. There are two kinds of cassava, sweet and bitter. The sweet variety has lower toxin levels, but the bitter type, which is more drought-resistant and higher yielding, carries a lethal punch. People often rely on the bitter type, and the line between nourishment and poison becomes terrifyingly thin. Over the years, outbreaks of Konzo, a paralytic disease linked to cyanide exposure, have struck rural African communities. To make cassava safe, it must be soaked, dried, fermented, graded, each step carefully executed over days. Skipping just one can mean disaster, and that's the paradox. A root that sustains life yet demands ritual-like precision, or it turns against those who need it most. Number 5. Sannakji. On the glossy plates of Seoul's late-night food markets lies a dish that seems alive, because it is. Sannakji, Korea's infamous delicacy, is a freshly killed baby octopus. Served raw, its tentacles still writhing, twitching with lingering nerve activity. To the adventurous, it's a thrill. To the unprepared, it can be fatal. The danger doesn't come from toxins or contamination. It comes from suction cups. Even in death, an octopus's nervous system continues to fire. The severed tentacles grip with remarkable strength, and when swallowed whole, as tradition sometimes dares, they can cling to the inside of the throat. Choking is the real killer. Each year, deaths are reported from diners suffocating on still wriggling pieces. Emergency responders have had to pry tentacles out of airways. Korean safety advisories even recommend chewing Sannakji thoroughly. Yet thrill seekers and purists often ignore the warning, chasing the intense primal experience of eating something that still fights back. Historically, eating raw octopus was tied to notions of masculinity and vitality, a way to show strength, courage, and domination over the sea's most clever creature. In royal courts and remote fishing villages alike, Sannakji was both celebration and symbol. Today, it lives on as a viral dare, a street food spectacle, and one of the few dishes where your last bite might literally be your last. Number 4. Mushrooms. In forests around the world, mushrooms rise like ancient riddles. Mysterious, alluring, and, at times, fatally deceptive. For centuries, foragers have hunted them, drawn in by their earthy flavor and natural mystique. But one mistake, one wrong mushroom, and that delicacy becomes a death sentence. The true danger lies in their disguise. Many of the world's most poisonous mushrooms are nearly indistinguishable from their edible counterparts. Chief among them is the Amanita phalloides, better known as the death cap. Just half of one can destroy your liver irreversibly. Even more insidious, its symptoms often delay for 6 to 12 hours, giving the illusion of safety until the agony begins. By then, the damage is done. Throughout history, mushrooms have been used as both nourishment and silent weapons. The Romans called them food of the gods, yet they're believed to have claimed Emperor Claudius's life, possibly served by his own wife in an expertly prepared assassination. In Renaissance Europe, mushroom poisonings wiped out entire families, often after a single shared meal. Even today, despite medical advances, hundreds are hospitalized each year, many with irreversible organ failure. No amount of boiling, salting, or cooking can neutralize the toxins. These poisons don't kill instantly. They unravel the body slowly, methodically, shutting down one organ after another in an invisible attack. Mushrooms may look like gifts of the forest, but beneath their gills, many carry the silent precision of nature's oldest poisons. Beautiful, still, and utterly merciless. Number 3. Fugu. In the elegant world of Japanese cuisine, few dishes command as much fear and fascination as fugu, the pufferfish. Delicate, translucent slices arranged like flower petals on porcelain plates. It looks like art. It can taste like heaven. And yet, it's one of the most lethal meals ever served. Inside the flesh of this seemingly innocent creature lies tetrodotoxin, a neurotoxin 1,200 times more potent than cyanide. Just 1 milligram is enough to paralyze the body, silence the breath, and bring death within hours. There is no known antidote. Preparing fugu isn't just cooking, it's ritualized risk. In Japan, chefs must undergo years of training and state certification to earn the right to slice its flesh. A single slip of the blade, just a twitch while cutting the liver or ovaries, and poison seeps into the meat. One wrong cut, and the dinner becomes a eulogy. Throughout history, fugu has killed hundreds. Famously, Matsumoto Basho, Japan's revered poet, wrote of its danger with both fear and admiration. During World War II, its serving was banned to protect military personnel. Even today, a few tragic cases still make headlines. Adventurous diners ignoring warnings, unlicensed chefs pushing the limits of thrill. But despite the danger, or maybe because of it, fugu remains a delicacy, a test of culinary skill, a dare served cold. Number 2. Casu Marzu. In the rolling hills of Sardinia, Italy, there exists a cheese so infamous, so illegal, it's earned the title of the world's most dangerous cheese. It's called Casu Marzu, and it's not just alive with flavor, it's literally alive. Made from traditional sheep's milk pecorino, the process starts off normal, until it's left outside to rot. That's when cheese flies are introduced, on purpose. They lay eggs inside the cracks. Those eggs hatch into maggots, which begin to eat and digest the cheese, breaking down the fats into a soft, weeping mass. The result? A pungent, oozing delicacy squirming with hundreds of translucent larvae. Sardinians claim the maggots are essential for flavor and texture. The cheese is considered inedible once the maggots die, which is why it's often eaten while the writhing creatures are still very much alive. Diners lean in cautiously, because the maggots can launch themselves up to 15 centimeters into the air. Banned by the EU for violating health regulations, Casu Marzu exists on the edge of legality, passed quietly through black markets and backdoor vendors. But to locals, it's more than just a cheese. It's a symbol of tradition, resilience, and rebellion. Honorable mentions: lead-laced wine, ancient Rome. The Romans loved their wine sweet, and they found the perfect ingredient: lead. They boiled grape juice in lead pots to enhance flavor, unknowingly poisoning themselves over generations. Symptoms of lead poisoning, insanity, infertility, even death, were rampant among elites. Some historians argue that this toxic indulgence may have quietly contributed to Rome's long, slow decline. Honorable mentions: ergot-infected grain. In medieval Europe, tainted rye sometimes carried ergot, a fungus loaded with LSD-like chemicals. Entire villages would spiral into hallucinations, convulsions, and death, a condition known as St. Anthony's fire. Victims claimed to see demons or feel their limbs burn off. Some scholars even believe ergot outbreaks may have fueled witchcraft panics and mass hysteria. Number 1. HAAKAARL. In the windswept coasts of Iceland, where survival once meant eating whatever nature allowed, a legendary dish emerged, one that still strikes fear into modern stomachs. It's called HAAKAARL, and it's nothing less than rotting shark flesh. The meat comes from the Greenland shark, a creature so toxic when fresh that eating it raw can cause hallucinations, convulsions, or death. Why? Its body is loaded with natural antifreeze and urea, making it poisonous without processing. So how do you make it safe? You bury it. Traditionally, Icelanders gut the shark, throw it in a shallow pit, and press it under rocks for 6 to 12 weeks. This begins a fermentation process where the toxins slowly leach out. Then the slab is hung up to dry for several months, exposed to the freezing air and howling winds. By the time it's ready, the flesh has turned into a rubbery, yellowed chunk that reeks of ammonia and decay. The smell alone has made celebrity chefs gag on camera. Anthony Bourdain once called it the single worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. But to Icelanders, it's a rite of passage, a connection to the brutal survival of their ancestors. Served in thin cubes, HAAKAARL dares you to bite into centuries of hardship and pride with a flavor that refuses to be forgotten.